Welcome. Today's video, I want to touch on taking control of our lives and our own decisions. So if you've been watching my content, you'll know that I work with people pleasers and people who struggle to set boundaries. And I'm passionate about doing this work because I know that there's some really beautiful souls out there who people please and they adapt it that way. Maybe you identify as an empath, I'm not sure. But either way, you are such a well-intentioned person who wants to do good in the world, but you are actually not able to do that because this people-pleasing behavior has gotten in the way. So I just want to address today a really important part of shifting over from being a people pleaser into a more powerful leader. So with that said, here we go. When we people please, as if you've been following my content on Instagram or anywhere else, Facebook, you'll see that it's an adaptive pattern that helped you stay safe and avoid pain at some point in life, probably childhood. Anyway, so we take that as a fact. And now we say, okay, what do we do to shift away from there? And what I often help my clients with is to identify a level 1 and a level 10 challenge in doing this. So a level 1 would be something that you feel is a little uncomfortable, but that you are willing to risk taking action in a new way and facing the consequences of that. A level 10, would probably be with a family member or a spouse. A close or long-standing relationship basically is a level 10. So changing a dynamic that's been there for years and someone very close to you, that's your level 10. Your level 1 is someone that perhaps you interact with on a more minor basis, or even a stranger. I know that sometimes even being able to say to the masseuse or anyone who's doing your pedicure or something and say, oh, please can you lighten up your touch a little bit, it's a bit painful. Something as simple like that can be your level 1, and that's something that a people pleaser can struggle with. For those who maybe aren't too bad with people pleasing, not as bad for you, that might sound absurd, but I know for myself, for years and years, I just sort of endured pain, right? Because that was part of my belief system still. Just endure the pain, carry on, and just, be tough. This is ridiculous. It's just a pedicure and it's sore, but it doesn't matter. I'm revealing the levels of my people pleasing from years ago. But to bring it back to point, we have to realize that we are in control of our choices and being able to influence the quality of our lives. And so we have to really kind of start with some belief change work. So the number one thing really for a lot of people pleasers is this not feeling really that putting your own needs first is something that you should do. There's a lot of guilt and shame about doing it. Perhaps you were called selfish for doing so as a child. Perhaps when you try to assert yourself in some way, you got shouted down or criticized. So you simply don't want to, relive that shame that got triggered for having a need and trying to have it met. So your task, I like to say, if your mission is, should you choose to accept it, is being able to change that belief over, and this is going to take some time. So if you journal, and again, I always tell everybody you should journal. It's a really amazing way to start processing and deepening the connection with yourself. So is that you write out that it's my duty and my responsibility to set boundaries so that I may protect my well-being. Something along those lines. So if you're writing it out every day, maybe the next day it will be, it is my right and responsibility to set boundaries and put myself first. Maybe that's what you would write. But we want to get the pendulum, or the needle, I should say, unstuck. So people pleasing, the needle is all the way over here. It's like always negotiate my needs, always put my needs at the back, don't complain, don't make a scene, don't draw attention to myself for my needs, all of this kind of stuff. Bam, there's the needle stuck. And we've got to try and draw the needle more into the center, right? And that's going to take some practice. So you're identifying your level 1 challenge. which is an area in your life where you can begin to build that muscle of courage, because that is what you need. And I know good people, well-intentioned people, you have courage. Don't let anyone make you feel weak because you're kind, because you want to serve other people. That's not weakness. It's just a belief in the mind that is kind of putting a gate on your courage. And we want to start letting that courage out. It's almost like, it's a bit like the scene of, in, what's that film? The Yellow Brick Road with Dorothy. Anyway, you know the one I mean. And there's the lion who's so afraid, he's a coward. And at the end of the film, when they meet, the big wizard, he's basically, again, just a dude behind the curtain with like a boom box for his voice or something. And he just basically makes them believe that they have the thing that they thought they didn't have. So the lion had courage all along. The Tin Man had a brain all along. So, or was it the Scarecrow? It doesn't matter, I can't remember. But it's this thing of, if you believe that you are weak, you won't behave with courage, right? So I want you to know that you are not weak. You simply have a belief that is gating and holding back your courage, but it's in you, and we want to start activating it. And you do it by doing this. You journal, write out your beliefs. So simple. People don't like to do simple. The ego sometimes does not like simple. The ego wants to fight and say, no, I know, I've got to do this really complicated thing. No, I'm going to say this over and over again in my videos. Keep it simple. Identify your level 1, maybe level 2 challenge, and bring courage out. Draw it out. Say, hey, courage, look, you've got your chance. Here's your opportunity. Because courage is going to be your lifelong friend. And the more courageous you get, the more you will sort of embrace this internal family where you have access to that courage when you need it. Right now, when you're calling for courage, going, courage, courage, right? Where are you? Where are you? And courage is like, I'm coming. I'm here, I'm coming. And it's like far away in the back. And it's got to come forward, it's like, well, courage, I needed you like 10 seconds ago or 1 minute ago. You weren't there. So this is what I'm trying to say. We are activating our courage. We're bringing it forward. You have it. It's inside you. I know I've repeated this over and over again, but you need to hear it over and over again. So write out that affirmation and think about that level 1 or level 2 challenge that you can begin to bring your courage forward.